Now at 5, we take you to the site of the future Dover Hill Elementary School in Joplin as officials provide a progress update.
Main Street in Waukesha, Wisconsin is back open after an SUV plowed into a holiday parade. I'm Marissa Parra with the details on this devastating tragedy.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Work is becoming three-dimensional at the site of the new Dover Hill Elementary in Joplin. This is SKYWATCH News at 5. By 3D, we mean steel beams are beginning to go up and the school's safe room is coming together. Work on the new school began with a groundbreaking back in April, and officials say the new school will help address a number of issues at the old buildings.
The community knows we had some real structural issues with Columbia that we're hoping hold together until we're in place out here, and handicapped accessibility, special programming space. I mean, we could just go on and on about all the ways that this will bring us up to code and up to adequate standards for our students.
Tonight at 6, we're going to hear more about the progress at the site and how the district is handling other factors playing into the future of the school. Life 360 Community Services unveiled a new facility in Monett, Missouri. Officials say the center will house community building initiatives like a job center, pregnancy care organization, foster care program, and a licensed preschool and daycare. Today, the organization hosted a ribbon cutting and block party to celebrate the announcement.
The former Cox Hospital, now the Life 360 Resource Center in Monett, where we are creating a community resource hub, bringing various resources for kids and families in the foster care system, those who need a public defense attorney, to those who need further education. All of that will be offered in one space.
Again, the new resource center is in the old Cox Health Hospital, which Cox donated to Life 360. Doug Hetty joins us now with a first look at the weather.
Well, Dow, actually a pretty good Monday for us today. A little chilly over the weekend, but not bad. Saturday was great, a little bit cooler yesterday. Chilly today, but overall pretty good Monday. Of course, it's already getting dark outside. A few little clouds kind of sneaking through. It's not a big deal. We look pretty good throughout the overnight hours for us tonight. In fact, let's zoom in. You can see our temperatures dropping back. Mid to upper 40s, northern counties, and then once you get into our southern counties, we're in that kind of 50 to 52 degree range. We've had these northeasterly winds, but watch the winds today. They start cranking back out of the south. That's going to help us warm up quite a bit more as we go through the next couple days, which is pretty good news. Now, the evening hours, chilly. We'll drop through the 40s, down into the mid 30s a little bit later on tonight. Of course, we're going to look into Thanksgiving coming up here in just a bit.
Catch you then. Thanks, Doug. 5 people were killed, 48 injured when a man drove through a Christmas parade in Wisconsin. 1 man is in police custody. Marissa Parra has the latest from Waukesha, Wisconsin.
Police have identified the driver of this SUV who plowed into a crowd at a holiday parade in Waukesha, Wisconsin as 39-year-old Daryl Brooks of Milwaukee. Police say he was fleeing a domestic disturbance and that he acted alone.
There's no evidence that this is a terrorist incident.
We got about 10 to 15 people down in the street. We also got multiple critical cases.
Police say an officer shot at the SUV to try to stop it, but had to stop firing to avoid the crowd. The 5 victims who died range in age between 52 to 81 years old.
Waukesha has held what can be described as a Norman Rockwell type of Christmas parade for almost 6 decades. Last night, our wonderful Waukesha parade became the scene of a horrific tragedy.
We saw the whole thing happen.
Richard Locke's son and niece were marching in the parade, came home later to find that same SUV went through his yard, damaging a car.
You think in hindsight about what response you could have to stop the guy, and it's just, you know, even if I was right in front of it, it would have been hard to stop it. I mean, he was going probably 30 to 35 miles an hour when he went past.
Main Street, where this happened, is now back open, but what remains is the paint where police marked off evidence left on the road. President Biden spoke about the tragedy this afternoon.
And an entire community is struggling to cope with the horrific act of violence.
Brooks will face 5 counts of first-degree intentional homicide, and possibly other charges could be coming. Marissa Parra, CBS News, Waukesha, Wisconsin.
A vigil will be held this evening in the city. Closing arguments are underway in the trial of the 3 white men accused of killing Ahmaud Arbery last year in Georgia. Prosecutor told jurors today the men charged in the fatal shooting had no cause to chase Arbery when they saw him in their neighborhood. She said they pursued him solely because he was a black man running down their street. A defense attorney for the man who fired the fatal gunshot said Arbery was killed as he violently resisted a legal effort to detain him to answer questions about burglaries. The arguments followed 10 days of testimony. The Department of the Interior has formally identified the term squaw as derogatory and is working to rename federal lands that currently have offensive names. According to the University of Idaho, the word squaw was initially introduced by Lewis and Clark in 1805. Over time, it came to be used as a slur in reference to Indigenous or Native American women. According to the Department of the Interior, there are more than 650 federal land units that contain that term. The Native American Rights Fund applauded the move, saying it was, quote, long overdue. Chinese tennis star Peng Shuai has resurfaced after nearly 3 weeks of silence and worldwide worries that she had been detained in China. Her appearance comes weeks after she accused one of the Communist Party's top leaders of sexual assault. The International Olympic Committee released an image from a video chat of a smiling Peng and a statement that said she was at home in Beijing and wanted to have her privacy respected. Still ahead, President Biden's approval rating is dipping.
Americans' pockets are taking a hit due to inflation, and so are the president's poll numbers. I'm Skyler Henry at the White House with a look at the plan he hopes will bring the country some stability.
And next in Health Watch, what to expect when it comes to COVID-19 vaccine boosters.
Tony's Garden.
Topping today's Health Watch, with the CDC giving the green light for COVID-19 booster shots for everyone over age 18, patients may have some questions about what to expect with a 3rd dose of the vaccine. Reporter Naomi Ruckham has more.
Mary Ann Venancio is opting for another dose of COVID-19 protection.
I have chronic Lyme, and I see an infectious disease doctor, and he advised me that I would be a really good candidate for a booster.
Health officials say COVID-19 vaccines are doing a good job preventing severe illness, hospitalization, and death, even against the Delta variant. But waning immunity is a concern.
Boosting gives you that bigger immune response from your original vaccine, and it also helps you fight Delta better.
Dr. Melanie Swift with the Mayo Clinic's COVID-19 vaccine program says people getting a booster can expect side effects like a sore arm,
fatigue, general muscle achiness, and headache. Those are more common in younger people. The older you are, the less likely you are to have those side effects. It's very similar for boosters to the pattern that was seen in dose 2 of the mRNA vaccines.
After your shot, stay at home and take it easy. To alleviate symptoms, you can drink plenty of fluids and take an over-the-counter pain reliever if necessary. Dr. Swift adds, not having a reaction does not mean your shot didn't work.
The side effects that we get are due to that robust immune reaction. But our immune reaction is probably more robust than it actually has to be to protect us. And not everybody feels those symptoms the same way.
She says most importantly, if you haven't received your first shot of the COVID-19 vaccine, now is the time. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News, New York.
Research from Israel on older adults shows rates of COVID-19 and severe illness were much lower among people who received a 3rd dose of the Pfizer vaccine. More diverse patients need to be included in some clinical trials. That's according to a new study published in a journal from the American Cancer Society that found Black and Hispanic patients were underrepresented in colorectal, lung, and prostate cancer trials, and women were also underrepresented in trials for colorectal and lung cancer. Using ride-sharing apps like Uber and Lyft may lead to fewer drunk driving accidents. A new CDC-funded study looked at statistics out of Chicago. Researchers found the number of rideshare trips near a crash site was associated with lower odds if the crash was alcohol related. The study showed that even one rideshare trip per square mile cut the chances of a drunk driving crash. And this Thanksgiving, a lot of parents say their children just aren't as thankful as they should be. A new national poll from the University of Michigan found that 4 in 5 parents agree that kids are not grateful for what they have. More than half of the parents surveyed worry they are giving their children too much. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, a new report shows the trend in home sales.
Plus, it looks like our temperatures are going to warm up a bit over the next couple days, but what about Thanksgiving? We're going to check that out coming up.
Is your wife hot?
Not bad for us today to kick off the work week, most likely a short work week. A little bit on the chilly side. We cooled down a little from yesterday into today with a cold front that rolled through yesterday morning, but we're actually going to start to warm things back up just a bit over the next couple days. All right, first off, winter forecast, December 2nd. That's next Thursday. We'll do the month long on Wednesday, and then we'll take a look at the entire winter. We'll even go into the spring as well. So that's next week. We're going to warm up the next few days. We're going to get showers, even some thunderstorms Wednesday night leading into Thanksgiving. I don't think it's going to be a huge concern for people traveling, but something you want to watch out for if you are traveling around the region by the time we get to Wednesday and Thursday. Temps right now, most of us mid to upper 40s to low to mid 50s in our southern counties, but a little bit cooler than what we should be for this time of the year. We had these kind of northeasterly winds all day long and then kicking in out of the south over the past couple hours. That's going to help us warm up by the time we head into Tuesday, also into Wednesday. Look at this, great shot. Of course, evening daylight hours keep shrinking up on us. It's 5:16, but a nice shot of the sun setting. Currently outside, sitting at 51, westerly winds at about 5. Humidity is bone dry at about 35%. Through the evening hours, we'll slide back through the 40s. I think we'll bottom out upper 30s, so a cold night, not a cold night, but a cold night across the region. We do have these mid and upper level clouds, a few clouds streaming through. Not a big deal. These clouds are just kind of zooming right on through. But besides that, there's not much going on. It's pretty quiet across the region. If we look out across the Rockies, you can see this twist right across parts of Colorado. That is a big dome of high pressure. So this is going to move over us over the next couple days, giving us nice weather. And then our next wave will start to fall into place late Wednesday night into Thursday. Let's break it down. Let's go through the overnight hours tonight. We'll stop at 6 a.m. Cold, upper 30s, pretty much clear skies. Southerly winds pick up throughout the daytime hours tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a great day. Check out our forecasts. Starting at 37, 56 by noon, high temp at 62. We'll have those south winds at about 5 to 15. We could get gusts a little bit higher than that. By tomorrow night, clouds start to increase across the region into Wednesday. In general, I think Wednesday looks pretty good. A lot of clouds. We're going to warm up into the 60s again, but some showers will start to develop late afternoon and into the evening hours. Most of this is Wednesday evening, and I know a lot of people travel on Wednesday, so here's 10 p.m. showers, some embedded thunderstorms, nothing strong, nothing severe, but some embedded thunderstorms rolling through. So this is Wednesday night into Thursday morning, and then it's out of here. But on Thursday itself, kind of chilly. Rainfall amounts, I don't think a ton, but I do think we'll get a half an inch to an inch of rain in most locations with this next storm system, but we're going to clear out just in time for Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving's going to be chilly though, so a good day to stay inside, eat some turkey, watch some football. 62 tomorrow, 63 on Wednesday. Those evening showers and thunderstorms, and then fairly dry through the holiday weekend, but a little bit chilly. We do warm back to 60 by Saturday.
Well, that'll be welcome, and as you say, good indoor weather for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's a good plan.
Like that. Coming up, a look at the president's approval rating and at our nation's economy. First, though, we honor a local World War II veteran. Marvin Sherwood served in the U.S. Army in the Philippines and in a Japanese POW camp. The Goodman, Missouri native received a number of medals, and we are proud to salute Technical Sergeant Marvin Sherwood, a four-state hero. Topping today's Consumer Watch, home sales managed to inch higher last month despite rising prices and dwindling inventory. According to the National Association of Retailers, sales of existing houses, townhouses, condominiums, and co-ops rose 0.8% in October from the previous month. In all, 6.34 million existing homes were sold. The number is down almost 6% from a year ago when pandemic home buying was at its peak. The Biden administration has handed out $1 billion in grant money to work on infrastructure projects. That money is going to 90 projects in 47 states and the District of Columbia to rebuild roads and beef up rail lines. Also on this initial list of ventures, creating new green space, trails, and bike lanes. As prices go up, President Biden's approval ratings are going down. A new poll shows 2/3 of Americans disapprove of how the president is handling inflation. The president announced today he's sticking with the Fed Chair Jerome Powell to help stabilize the pandemic recovery. Reporter Skylar Henry explains.
A new CBS News poll turned up low numbers and bad political news for President Biden. More than 2/3 of Americans, 67%, now disapprove of how the president is handling inflation.
To many Americans, when they rate the economy, it's what's right in front of them, the prices they're paying, in this case, at that gas pump or that cash register.
Jobless claims fell to a pandemic low in the latest report, and retail sales were up last month for the third straight month. But those positive indicators aren't enough to boost the president's numbers. His overall approval rating is just 44%, the lowest in CBS News polling since he took office.
We need to move on this Build Back Better bill right now.
The president's advisors hope his social spending bill will bring political and economic relief, but opponents say it could have the opposite effect.
This idea that we're going to spend $1.75 trillion, but trust us, it's not going to cost you anything. Nobody buys that.
President Biden is looking for stability at the Federal Reserve to continue what he calls remarkable progress emerging from a pandemic recession. Monday, the president nominated Trump appointee Jerome Powell for a second 4-year term as Fed chair.
I believe Jay is the right person to see us through and finish that effort, while also addressing the threat of inflation.
No easy task with massive supply chain disruptions and the lingering coronavirus pandemic. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the White House.
Seen in part as a move to placate progressives, the president tapped the Democrat Dr. Lael Brainard as number 2 at the Fed. Air travel has hit a new pandemic-era record. According to the Transportation Security Administration, nearly 2.25 million people traveled through airports on Friday. That marks the highest volume since March of 2020, when passenger traffic ground to a halt due to the pandemic. A final check of the forecast next.
Go places.
Up next on the CBS Evening News, what to expect if you're traveling for Thanksgiving. And then on KOAM News at 6, we're going to have more on the construction of the new Dover Hill Elementary in Joplin. Plus, the Joplin Area Chamber of Commerce announces its Outstanding Citizen of the Year. And Joplin Parks and Recreation is helping to deliver letters to Santa again this year. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. All right, look at this. Millions of red crabs, millions, have started the long crawl, marking their annual migration to the coast of Christmas Island. It's an Australian territory in the Indian Ocean. It takes months of preparation each year for the employees of the Christmas Island National Park to put in place miles of road barriers and signs to make sure the crabs go over these specially built bridges. The crabs move in huge numbers from their forest home to the sea. It's amazing. Each female crab can release up to 100,000 eggs into the ocean. The speed of the migration, it depends on the phase of the moon, as red crabs always spawn before dawn on a receding high tide during the last quarter of the moon. That's according to the Parks Department in Australia. It's remarkable, and I'm wondering if they're tasty. Maybe you shouldn't be eating them.
I bet
but
they
I'm thinking crabs, and I'm just thinking butter, steamed.
It's almost dinner time.
Almost dinner time.
Sounds pretty good.
Yes, it does. The weather.
Well, a lot of people are going to be eating food this week, and Thursday is going to be a great day to stay inside and eat some food. We're going to be into the 40s. We are going to get some thunderstorms Wednesday evening. We're going to talk more about that coming up on ZKOAM News at 6.
Thanks for joining us. CBS Evening News is next. Of course, we will be right back here at 6. We'll see you then. Let's make it a great evening.